remains to be seen.
Is Karen Reed guilty?
Oof. At the end of the day, no, I don't think she is. And I haven't finished the docuseries yet. Have you?
No, I haven't,
Okay.
but I've watched the first 2.5 episodes.
Yeah.
It's just, look, dude, first of all, you if I could, a Rogue Media version of Turtle Boy is you, which is awesome.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
No, that's not legit, but I was thinking about, I wanted
I've
to
known
break
about
your balls.
Turtle Boy forever, man. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess he's been coming up with, conspiracies and
he uncovered one that happened in my hometown. I don't know if it was uncovered was the right word, but he's the only one to report these 2 town employees banging in the town hall after hours, both having affairs. It was great.
So, by the way,
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast last night. I couldn't sleep last night, so I was listening to a podcast about Karen Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the women who was there on the scene with her, who in the HBO documentary, by the way, it's clearly like a Karen Reed vehicle.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Like 100%.
Have to take that into account.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
They have they have that one. Clearly, everyone on the other side, the prosecution has been told not to talk, which is smart. And they have one guy who's like he's a defense attorney, not on the defense, but he is a defense attorney.
Yeah.
That's just kind of playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
Like you've seen that guy with the white beard. He just plays devil's advocate for everything that Karen says. So they do something, but it is definitely Karen Reed approved. Yeah.
Dude, have you heard? So I was listening to this podcast and they interview one of the women who was on the scene with her, one of the friends of John. And the woman said that when Karen knew exactly where this poor guy was, where it was like impossible. It's whiteout conditions. You can't see 8 feet in front of your face. And she darts over like to where he was, this pile of snow, and he's there. And the woman says that Karen Reed lifted up John's shirt, lifted up her shirt, and lays on top of him in like what is described as a crazy scene. Like, have you heard that?
No, I can understand the reasoning behind it, but I had never heard that. That seems like something that would come up here.
They describe,
she feels that he's very cold, and she's like, "Oh shit, this is the only way I can warm him up."
Or the woman makes it sound like, God damn, I should have put the clip aside to play it. The woman sounds like it was just like a crazy move. Makes it sound like Karen was acting
probably,
crazy.
yeah.
But so they paint her. She was a nutty woman, I think. Could we say that? I mean, Is that okay in today's world? Yeah. And watching her talk, she's kind of nutty.
Can I say something that's going to sound mean, but I promise it's not?
Yeah.
So you're engaged now, Pete.
Oh yeah.
But as a man, in your 40s and somewhat recently on the dating scene, you've seen women like this.
Oh boy.
Right?
You're telling me.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're not like horrible people, but they're a little high strung. They're a little extra. Like Karen Reed certainly seems like that. And the whole time in this documentary, she's just like, she'll start to talk about John and be like, this was tragic for John. I'm looking for justice for John, but also I'm fighting for my life right now. I'm fighting for every fucking other sentence from her is like, I'm fighting for my life. And it's like, we get it. You are. This is an incredible circumstance, but we also understand that, Karen. It's episode 4. We get it. Yeah. So you do know this kind of, and we all kind of know this kind of person.
Oh, dude, she ran hot. Like there was that situation.
The voicemails, man. I mean, they look terrible now, but
damn. Well, and the two of them, they're in Mexico, and the situation where she thinks that she caught him making out with somebody, and it turns out to be like a family friend. And the family friend, because John's drunk as like
John's late sister's friend.
Yes. And John is wasted and he bumps into her and the woman is like, John, go down there if that's where you're going. So Karen just appears and is like, who the F is that? And the woman,
the lobby,
can hear them yelling. And the woman makes it clear, like, hey, like, nice to meet you. Like, I'm just like a friend. And Karen's like, I don't give a F who you are. Like, get the F out of here. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, right. that is all I need to hear. Right. About that relationship, this woman, this was toxic, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was.
And John was the kind of guy, like, dude, if you have like a fiance, a serious girlfriend, you can't have like you can't have like all these girlfriends. John had all these friends that were girls. Yeah. You're gonna make your significant other crazy. Like even that whole situation, like at some point it's like
Pete, blaming the victim here.
I'm not. But I just think the whole situation was completely explosive, right? And the amount of alcohol involved with these people is troubling, dude. I mean, she had 10 drinks the night that he died.
Yeah. She's claiming she only drank like 6 of them. I'm like, that's still a lot. That's still probably too many to be driving.
She's a tiny little woman.
Yeah, like that's still probably too much.
Yeah, and they got started at like 9, so it's not like it was like an all day thing. Like it was like we're talking 9 to 12. This 120-pound woman had like 9 or 10 hard alcohol drinks.
Yeah,
that's a lot,
double
dude.
shots. Yeah,
yeah. So Boston, I love it, dude. I love
how she says in the documentary. She goes, "Well, we went out and drank. Only thing to do in Canton is drink. Like that's what everybody does. We just drink all night." And it's so I won't get into that. But what's so 2025 about it is like if you put a gun to my head and ask me what happened, like I think the most likely scenario is that she accidentally hit him.
Yeah,
and just didn't notice. You know what I mean? And like, because she says, I didn't feel a 200-pound man hit my car. But like, if you've had 7 drinks, maybe you don't.
Wasted.
And maybe you just don't feel it. Maybe you think it's your head hitting the headrest, you know?
I will say this one thing too.
But what's so 2025 is that can't be the answer. It has to be this massive cover up. Or Karen Reed losing her mind and killing him and going, blacking out, going back, it can't just be that.
Do you agree with the cover up? Like he was beat like to death? I don't buy that. I just
I actually don't. I don't think the beating to death is that crazy, or as crazy as it should sound like. Because dude, like the things on the arm, the bites and the cuts on the arm, I still don't get this.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand how that comes from a car. Like you know what I mean? I don't. And who knows? Maybe they got into a physical fight the night before, and we just don't know it. That could have happened, and he just didn't tell anybody, and then the next day he's dead. That could be it. But then they bring in the expert who had offered herself up to the defense, actually, about the dog bite expert, who's like, yeah, this probably comes from a dog. This probably comes from a German Shepherd who was an aggressive dog that was in the house. And the only thing about that I can, like, the only narrative I can buy into is, the people are upstairs. So they have like 10 witnesses. There's a bunch of people in this house. And John comes in the front door and they bring him down to the basement. They're like, hey, like whatever, like, let's have a drink in the basement or something. I got to show you something. And they kick the shit out of him there. And maybe it goes too far. Maybe they intended to do it.
What's the motive, Cam?
That I don't know. See, that's the thing. And the other thing is, which is brought up in episode 4, which I didn't even know until this point. They have train tracks behind their house. And so instead of doing that, they put him on their own lawn. I get it's a blizzard, but like somebody can see him. He's on their own front lawn. Like they don't dispose of the body. Like they don't try to hide the body. They don't try to put it on the train tracks. They don't.
The Google search is crazy. The Google search is crazy.
That is the thing that keeps me with this, Pete.
Yeah,
it's the damn Google search.
The woman who's in the house.
And there's
how
been
long
no
does it take to die in the cold?
Yeah, there hasn't even been a bullshit explanation for it. There's been nothing. There's been no answers to that. How long does it take? How long does it take for a body to, what is it? Freeze in the cold, die in the cold?
Die in the cold is what it said.
Like that is fishy. And I know there was some beef between like some, I don't know, kind of cop beef between the guys beforehand, but there's also got to be, like, this is the same way I feel about the moon landing. Like there's got to be a lot of people in cahoots that don't come out.
100%. I mean, and which I think is impossible.
I mean, we can limit it to law enforcement. Again, with that example of all the witnesses, maybe they're upstairs and the music's playing and they don't hear it in the basement or something. Yeah. Like I think that's plausible. But you've got to have a lot of law enforcement people in on this. the crooked cops happen everywhere, but that's a lot to put together.
A lot, dude. And you know, the old saying, like, if two people know about something, one of them's going to talk. I mean, like, that is eventually that stuff comes out, and it's been a while, and a lot of people under a lot of pressure. All right, Cam.
One thing. Have you gotten to the part about the car going into the garage, the police garage?
No. Tell me. I mean,
you'll see it in the doc, but it's harrowing. So they have in evidence, like the video of whatever the state police garage is, you know, mechanic shop, whatever, the car coming in. And according to this video, like, you can see the side of the car that is supposed to be where the taillight's broken. You can't really see that it is broken, but you can see that side of the car, and you can see the investigators going around it. So what the prosecution is saying is that, all right, if they were to tinker with the car right now, you'd be able to see it. You'd be able to see him slam a club in it. And then you can see, like, there's a car kind of in the foreground in the corner that has police backwards. And so they find out that they mirrored the image. So it's the other side of the car that you're seeing, and you can see people going around the other side, but you wouldn't be able to see if anything's happening to it. So, like, there's just enough seeds here that it's like, there's enough seeds here that I think she will be found not guilty.
What does this say? Last question, I promise, about Boston.
I mean, it doesn't paint the greatest light. I mean, Boston's got a history of corrupt politicians, corrupt cops. Like, this ain't new.
Which honestly, most every place does.
Sure.
You know,
most major cities. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But the Boston, like, honestly.
But when you have a Best Picture winner that's all about crooked cops and the mob, you know, like, you get that reputation as well. So yeah.
It's really amazing.
When your greatest gangster of all time is also a rat, an informant, you know, that happens. So
it's pretty amazing, man. I love Boston, and the personality of it, of course, like the Karen Reed, like, you know, being cute. I mean, that all plays into how we're so invested in this.
It's the trial of the decade right now.
Like it or not, it really is. And I think that, when is this going to go back on trial officially? When does it start? Like 2 weeks?
Know. Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. I saw the date the other day. It's April. Yeah. And by the way, this obviously it's a big national story. This has a vice grip on Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Like, so I went home for a wedding last summer, like end of June, early July, and we have a 4th of July party at our house. It's all family, you know, 60, 70-year-old people. And that's all anyone talked about, because they're all retirees now, and they just watch the Karen Reed stuff all day. Yeah. And we have some that live in Dedham or next to Dedham, and they're like, we can't go by the courthouse. It's a mob scene. Sports Talk Radio in July is talking about it because there's nothing else going on.
I love it. Yes.
It is everywhere.
Dude, it's
everywhere.
March. Let me tell you something, okay? And I'm not a complete idiot. I had a basketball game I had to work. I have this show, obviously. I have another show. Everybody's busy. Everybody's busy, but it's March Madness. It's like, when you texted me, I was on a plane headed to Stanford, and I got the text that said Karen Reed tonight. I was like, I literally was like, okay, I've prepared enough for this game. And I went right to that show. Like, I think
I'm going to finish it today.
It's kind of crazy. And I'll say this one last thing. When you mentioned the trial coming up and the vice grip on Boston, I believe, at least for me personally, when that jury deliberates, that's going to be like a where you were, like a mini where you were type moment. I'll know where I was when that jury comes back, if they do eventually come back. If they're not, they could be hung again and then whatever.
Sure. But, there's still so much that logically just points to Karen.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a pretty good liar if she did do it. She's a very good liar.
Yeah. Which has happened before. I mean,
but like OJ was like, this guy's full of shit. He did it. But like her, like, I don't know. All right, Cam Stewart, the Cam Show's coming up, brother.